Hey people, it's Melly Alex back again with another model review. And this time it's the Master Grade GM Sniper 2, the RGM-79SP GM Sniper 2 from back as of course from Mobile Suit Gundam, which this particular mech first appeared in the War in the Pocket OVA anime. And I started this one a little while ago while I was on a little bit of a mini vacation. And as about 2 or so nights ago, I finished it. And this was one that I was keen on getting to for a while, but like everything else, just can't get to it every time. But this is probably one of the smallest and simplest master grade mobile suits that I've built in a long time. And for the most part, I'm quite happy with it. This is probably one that, from what I've read, has had a lot of positive reception. And you can kind of see why. This is one of the most flexible, posable kits I think I've ever seen. And very much so. The arms have quite a lot of moving room. The legs can be stretched and positioned in ways I don't think I've been able to get away with many of the other Master Grades that I've built. And as far as overall looks are concerned, the GM Sniper 2 looks amazing. It's one of the few that I would say are one of the best looking, especially for grunt suits, because when you expect the Gundams specifically, you expect those to be great. Well, I like me a good grunt suit just as well. Remember the Razel Type C? Well, unlike that, this is a much more simpler kit. So it's one that you can build with pretty fast, honestly, if you're dedicated enough. And it's small too. Probably smaller than the Jesta, which I built a long time ago. And it has a pretty simplistic, bluish design overall. Nothing too crazy about it, and I kind of like that. It's a little more simple. Differs from the other stuff, which has a lot of other crap placed on them. With the Sniper 2, it's a little more basic, and it works for it. In terms of gimmicks, besides the wonderful posability in the legs and the arms, and everywhere else, even the chest and torso, I like the little gimmicks that it has, such as being able to put the sniper visor down, up and down, so it's in sniper mode. Not a groundbreaking gimmick, pretty simple, but one that makes it look cooler in sniper mode regardless. And as for weapons, of course, it has the old traditional beam sabers, which are stored in the back skirt. Hope you can see. Too dark. My lighting sucks, I'm sorry to say. And you have it's sniper rifle, hence the name, which looks pretty cool. Has a nice gunmetal gray barrel and scope with a nice green frame right there and stock. Sadly, the scope relies on stickers for both the front and back of the scope. There's no transparent green piece like the visor and helmet pieces. But it still looks good regardless. And a little bipod right here that can swivel both forward, backward, and even left and right. Cool little tidbit. And it also comes with a bull pump machine gun right here, and a shield, which, besides being mounted on the arm, also can store the beam sabers at the top right here, as well as 2 extra magazines for the machine gun right here, where the shield actually can split into can be mounted. Now, yeah, right here, see, right in front of the gun where it can be mounted. Cool, right? Now, terms of overall positives, the GM Sniper 2, great posability, great mobility, simplistic but still cool looking design all around, has a nice color palette, not a lot of weapons to move around to give it, but it works fine with what it is, and the shield, of course, can be mounted on both the left and right arm, as well as function and doubly as this gun platform for it to rest on, for the rifle to rest to be mounted over, which makes it a good battle pose. So that's pretty much the positives. For the negatives, however, well, for one thing, the shield, you see it has the little turntable rift rim right here that goes where it would mark the arm. See how it goes? Well, in most shields, there's a little handle right here for the hand to grasp on. That's all nice. Where it suffers, however, in terms of posability, is that unlike most of the other shields on other Gundams and mobile suits I've built, this one doesn't have as much mobility when on the arm, so you can't turn it all the way to like a 90-degree relative to the arm. So it makes posing with it, honestly, a bit limited, especially if you want to try putting weapons on both hands. So because of that, I figured instead of the usual generic gun on one hand, beam sword on the other, like I tend to do when it comes to my previous reveals and reviews, I figured why not just ditch the beam swords. We all know about the beam swords at this point. They're pretty stock when it comes to your usual Gundam kit. So I figured with the posability and everything, I figured I'd do a little something else. Have him posing with the rifle. Originally, I intended to have him standing here, Rambo style, with one, or Terminator style, with the right hand holding the rifle up while the left hand blasts with the machine gun. But unfortunately, that's where my complaints with the hands come in. And well, I'll give the hands the positives. For the most part, they stay on the mobile suit quite well and don't budge nearly as much as others. These are the Gen 3 hands, which are the ones that don't move, unfortunately. They have to be swapped with other hands. Thankfully, these stay in their sockets, and given the size of the smaller size of the weapons that this has to deal with, it doesn't fall over as much. However, that still doesn't mitigate my complaints with these Generation 3 hands being absolutely limited in function and just overall displeasing to use. Now, when I was opening and building the kit, I noticed that it came with what looks like an extra trigger hand right here, right? Well, and originally I put this on the other hand to see if I could get away with that, right? And see if I could do the whole double gun thing like I wanted. Well, no. These extra trigger hands are junk. They don't even fit through the trigger of the gun, nor even the rifle. The default right trigger hand that the kit came with, that fits through the rifle and the bull pump, is the one that it does default. This trigger finger is you can barely tell, but it is much smaller in its reach, and as a result, you can't even fit the hand and the finger through either weapon. So, despite having... Oh, Mom chasing the cat. Oy vey. So, despite having what appears to be extra hands to be a little more creative and have the mobile suit wield multiple guns, it can't even do that. As far as I'm concerned, they're a waste of parts that are just reserved for something else and have no real function to speak of. You can't fit the beam saber in there because you have the little slim socket in the palm of the hand, and the beam sabers in this kit are just meant for regular grip hands to slide through. So they're pretty much, it's just a wasted little piece of plastic that really doesn't do anything, which sucks, honestly. And of course you have your decals, which I'm pretty meh with. I don't really care for them that much, except for on rare occasions, other than the panel lining. So yeah, the Gen 3 hands, they still suck because they're still minimalistic. If they had gone with the Gen 2 hands, like the Jesta or the Sinanju Stein even, those would have been perfect with the GM Sniper 2. The whole kit has a huge range of motion and posability. Why not have the same with the hands? It makes no sense. I mean, the problem I have with the Gen 2 hands is mostly with, the kit they're put on. And with the GM2 here, those Generation 2 hands that have, all the fingers being movable would have been perfect for this. Because you could easily wrap them around and pose them around the different gun types, even the swords and everything. Even grip the shield right here. Like in the Jesta. And because the sniper rifle and the machine gun are pretty medium to small size in comparison to the mobile suit and its arms and hands, it would have carried them quite easily, no problem. It's only with bigger mobile suits and with bigger weapons like the Sinanju Stein, or God forbid the Sazabi, where they don't work because you have a giant weapons for giant kits right there, whereas this is much smaller, and those kinds of hands would be able to handle the weight. But no, for whatever reason, Bandai didn't do that. They went with the god-awful Generation 3 hands, which are, of course, immobile and have to be swapped with other hand pieces. And of course, I hate those. They never should have been made. They should have gone back to the drawing board. Bandai, you should have stayed with the Generation 1 and 2 hands. They don't work. The Generation, they work fine. It's merely the weight problems of other kits that hamper the Gen 2 hands. But Generation 3, however, there's no, there's nothing they could do that you couldn't do with the Generation 2 hands, granted with lighter weapons or in smaller kits like this. So it would have been fine. But like with the high resolution Wing Zero, the Freedom 2 Gundam Mark II Master Grade, and even the Renaskada and others, those hands, these swappable hands, they're a piece of crap, because again, you can't use them for anything. They only send you only a select few of hand pieces that only are for a very specific job. So if you want to get creative when it comes to what these models can carry, well, you're shit out of luck because you can't do them. Because these Gen 3 hands come out in the select kind per kit, and like I said, they're imposable. You can't move them or nothing. So as far as weapon being clever with weapons and everything, well, that's where the kit ultimately suffers. It's everything else that's great about it except for that. So yeah, overall look, overall presentation and gimmicks, the GM Sniper 2 is a very good kit. A simple humble kit compared to the others, but a good one nonetheless. And I really like posing this thing with the gun up behind the shield. Again, I just wish that the hands weren't these god-awful Gen 3 hands that can't do crap, as well as the shield being a little more rotation friendly for the arm. So overall, I like it. Good little grunt kit. I look forward to getting the other sniper suits at some point, the one and the custom, and see how I do with those. So until I get to the next model, this is Alex out, and I'll be back soon with another one in due time. Peace out, y'all.